Monday afternoon, I'm gonna filming an amazing video about the uses of the present simple tense. Some uses of the present simple tense we learned in the previous lesson. But today in this lesson, we are we are gonna learn some other uses of the present simple tense. It's very easy. I'm gonna start this today's lesson with a beautiful structure. You keep this structure in your mind. It will help you. Now you see subject. So it means first we use the subject and after that we use the first form of verb. First form of verb, or we call it the base verb, base form of verb. And plus sometimes SOAS and plus object. But this is the structure only to make affirmative sentences. I mean that positive sentences, plain sentences. In other words, it means no question, no negative. For example, I'll write here, I go to work. I go to work. I go to work by bus. Think about it. I go to work by bus. I eat food. That's a very common example. I eat food. I eat food. So, you see, plain sentence. It's a plain sentence. It's a positive sentence. No negative, no question. But sometimes we need to add SOS. It depends upon the verb. Sometimes we need SOS. Verbs that end in O. Verbs that end in O. We need to add up to the first form of verb. Yes. For example, go. Yes, goes. And verbs that end in X. X. For example, makes. So we need to add ES. Mixes. But not I mixes. No. No. I mix. Simply I mix. But I mix and he mixes. He mixes. It mixes. She mixes. Okay? And double Z. Verbs that end in double Z. For example, this. We need to add AS. Buzzes. Buzzes. Okay? Not I buzzes, but I buzz. She buzzes. She buzzes. He buzzes. It buzzes. Nobody buzzes. Everybody buzzes. Uh, and verbs that ends in ch. Ch. Watch. I watch. But she watches. She watches. Okay, friends? She watches. So, we need this as. And normally, for example, ran. Ran. I will say I ran. I ran. First form of verb. No S or S. I. With I. But with he or she or it, everybody name, Tariq runs. We need to add first form of verb ran plus s. Simply. He runs. He runs. Okay. She runs. It runs. Everybody runs. Nobody runs. No one runs. Okay. So in this structure, but only in affirmative sentences. Only to make affirmative sentences. To make a negative sentence, we simply use with I, we, you, they. We use simply do not, and with he, she, it, nobody, everybody, somebody, we use does not, okay, does not. We learned this in the previous lesson. Now no need to learn it again. If you need this again, you go and watch that video again. I go to work by bus. I eat food. I will repeat this. What is the message in this sentence? It simply means I'm repeating this action every day. I go to work by bus. What does it mean? A repeated action. Now you see, for example, here's this water. Okay? For example, 10 days ago, be serious. 10 days ago, I came from school, and at 4 p.m. I did the action. I washed my hand. Okay? And now you see, go ahead. 9 days ago, I again repeated this action. At 4 p.m. I washed my hand again. Okay? And after school, and 8 days ago. So that means I am moving to the present. Now you see, I came from school at 4 p.m. I again did this action. I washed my hand again. In the similar manner, 7 days ago, 6 days ago, and 3 days ago, 2 days ago, and yesterday. Okay? Yesterday and today again. And tomorrow again. Now you see, I washed my hand again at 4 p.m. after school. So tomorrow I will do this action again. I will wash my hand at 4 p.m. after school. So what does it mean now? Now I will say to you now. It's my habit. I'm repeating this action every day. So it's my habit now. Think over it like these actions that you do regularly. You are repeating every day. You can think over them. Now you see, so in this manner, in this way, I will say it's my habit. And it's my habit, that means I will do it again tomorrow at the right time, at the proper time. When I focus on the time, so then I can say it's my timetable. So like this we say like this, my school opens at 9:30. What's it? It's the timetable of the school. My school opens at 9:30. My school closes at 3:30. The train to Baramulla leaves at 6:30. every morning.
Your friends.
Now, we use the present simple tense in giving directions and instructions. Okay? Let's take an example. You, you don't, you don't get off. You don't get off. You don't get off at the museum. At the museum, you you get off. You get off at the stop. At the stop after the museum. After the museum. Okay? So, it's a direction. It's a direction. So we use the present simple tense. Present simple tense. We use this present simple tense in giving. You have to give directions and instructions. Now see an instruction before a test. Hey students, you read the questions. You read the questions first. You read the questions first, and then write down your answers in the box, and you don't write on the question paper. So what's it? It's an instruction. You read the questions first and then write down your answers in the box. You don't write on the question paper. So it's an instruction. Okay? So we use this present simple tense to give instructions and directions. Okay? One more use is very important. Immediate reactions. Immediate reactions. Okay, we use this present simple tense to give an immediate reaction. We use the present simple tense. Okay, often with verbs of senses. Verbs of senses and perception. To talk about feelings. Talk about feelings and reactions. Feelings and reactions at the moment of speaking. Okay, speaking. We use the present simple tense often with verbs of senses and perception to talk about feelings and reactions at the moment of speaking. Let's take an example. Do you think we usually say, do you think that milk is okay to drink? Question mark at the end. Do you think that milk is okay to drink? Oh, it does not. It does not. It doesn't smell. It doesn't smell very good. It doesn't smell very good. Okay? And one more. Now you see, why does it hurt? Why does it hurt? Immediate reaction. Why does it hurt? Okay? Why does it hurt? Where does it hurt? Does it hurt? Why does it hurt? Okay? After this, you don't. Now you see. Don't you believe me? Don't you believe me? It's true. Don't you believe me? It's true. It's true, honestly. It's true, honestly. You don't believe me? It's true, honestly. Immediate reactions. So very, very important use is this immediate reaction. Okay? Immediate reaction. We use this present simple tense to give immediate reactions. And one more use. We use this present simple tense with speech act verbs, or we call them performative verbs. Speech act verbs or performative verbs. Speech act verbs or performative verbs. Verbs which perform. Verbs which perform. Which perform the act they describe. They describe. Verbs by saying, by being spoken, they perform the action. They perform the action they describe, which they describe. For example, we say, I hope. Hope, promise. I promise. I bet. I apologize. I thank. I suggest. I admit. I confess. So these verbs are called performative verbs, speech act verbs. So by being spoken, they perform the action. They perform the action which they describe. So we say, for example, I will say, for example, let's take an example. I agree. I agree with everything. I agree with everything. Everything you say. I agree with everything you say. Okay? So, I thank you for your help. I thank you for your help. I thank you for your help. I thank you for help. I thank you for your help. So, when we say this, this thank, I perform the action. When I say I swear, I will never do it again. I swear First form of verb. I swear I will never do it again. I will never do it again. Try to understand. I swear. I swear I will never do it again. It's in present simple tense. I swear. So, but by being spoken, this word swear, it performs the action that it describes. So we call it performative action. Like that is not this. I run. When I say I run, it does not mean I will start run. Okay, check it. When I say I run, it does not mean I will start this run. No. So, but with when I say I promise, when I say this I promise I will never do it again. I promise. When I say I promise, this word, when I say from my mouth, when this word comes out from my mouth, so it means you hear this word, so it means I perform the action. I perform the action. That means it's my promise now. I will never do it again. By being spoken this word, it performs the action that it describes. So we call them performative actions, performative verbs. Performative verbs. So like this is declare, I declare, bet, I bet, I admit, I made a mistake. I confess, I made a mistake. Okay? Like this. We call them performative actions. So it means saying and doing. Saying and doing. Saying and doing. Saying and performing. Saying and performing go side by side. Okay? Side by side. When you say, it performs. When you say, it performs. When you say this word, it performs. Apologize. Like that. Now, we use this after this. We use one more use of this present simple tenses. We use the present simple tense. We use the present simple tense in future. We use this present simple tense with future reference. With future reference. With future reference in subordinate clauses afterwards like when, if, till, and until. There's as soon as, before, whether, etc. Let's take an example. I'll call you when I get home. Okay? I will call you in future. But you see, when, after when, this is the subordinate word, and this after this, you see, subordinate clause, I get home. When I get home, not when I will get home. No. I will call you when I get home. I will call you when I get home. I will call you before I go home. I will call you before I go home. And I will call you as soon as I get home. As soon as I get home. Okay? So we use in this way present simple tense with future reference in subordinate clauses after words like when, if, till, until, as soon as, before, whether, etc. So we completed this present simple tense, and you go watch again and again and practice more and more. You will be okay in this tense. Thank you.